How was your Diwali, children? Now that you're done with all your crackers and sweets, let me tell you a story about a house that threw the best Diwali parties only after midnight. When Raghav's company decided to survey the land in Ektanagar, they were confident that the residents would not say no to the redevelopment. For years, the land in one of the lanes had been considered haunted. The fear in the locals could easily be manipulated. Raghav's job as a land surveyor was to identify and report any hazards on the land and, of course, perform his other duties. After 2 bus rides and a 10-minute walk, he stood in front of a land. It was barren like any other piece of land. Usually, societies made free plots a dump yard. But this one was different. Its borders had green grass. In the middle, it was clean and empty. No makeshift cricket pitches or football goalposts. The day faded into dusk. The local clerk, Girish, close to retirement, checked on him when he noticed Raghav had marked the land between house number 6 and house number 8 as empty. He said, "Beta, I know no house is there, but listen to me. Don't mark it empty either. Just skip it." When Raghav asked the old man why, he only said, "Because we don't sell what doesn't stay." The weather was pleasant. The chilly winter winds knew no bounds. The rays of the sun long gone as it began to descend into the field. Raghav sipped his tea as Girish started explaining himself. "I am fairly new in this town, son. There are families older than mine. The only way I have seen people escaping this town is by holding the hand of the Grim Reaper himself. Our children have seen it. So have their children. And nobody can walk away from house number 7. A house? Raghav wondered, baffled by his words. But he simply listened. On paper there is no record, but every Diwali night it emerges from the darkness of the extinguished candles and ashes of burst crackers. It sings old songs and invites us all, decorated charmingly every year. Its walls all whitewashed. The sweet odor of fried foods fill the air with warmth. Smoke from incense drifting along the window. I think last year a few kids spotted shadows dancing to the lively music. But by dawn, it was gone." That is all the old man could inform him before finishing his tea. Girish had managed to ignite curiosity inside the young land surveyor. Raghav didn't believe in myths, not until he could measure their shadows himself. On his day off, he decided to pay a visit to the members of house number 8. A beautiful woman answered the door. Raghav had done his homework. The house had 6 members. Out of them, 2 were elderly, one of them old enough to talk about the abandoned land that people believed once belonged to house number 7. Sitting for tea and crackers, Meera limped her way to him. Her silver strands and sagging skin didn't make anyone doubt her words. Grunts escaped her mouth as she sat on the wooden chair with a large cushion.
So you want to talk about the house next door? Huh?
She confirmed. Raghav immediately nodded.
It's not haunted, dear. It's remembering. It wishes no harm, but doesn't realize it. I remember. My mother used to speak of the Patkars, the family who lived there. They loved hosting, kept the neighborhood alive. And every Diwali, the house was the brightest on the lane. Mrs. Patkar made sweets herself, and not a corner was left without a diya. People danced till their feet ached to Ashaji's songs and old tunes left behind by the Britishers. But one year my mother stayed home, unwell. That night the Patkar's house caught fire. Nobody knows how it began. The flames were monstrous, red as blood. No one escaped. By morning it was all ash.
Meera's voice fell quiet.
For years the land stayed empty. But one Diwali night, I smelled incense instead of sulfur, heard laughter where there should have been silence. I opened my eyes and there it was, house number 7, shining as if it had never burned. Those who stepped inside never came out. Some tried to leave the town, but the house called them back. I think it grows every year, as if it remembers more than we do.
What followed after the excruciatingly long chat with Meera was the desire to see it himself. And what would he do on that night? He is just another employee on file. This could be his little adventure. After a few arrangements, Raghav managed to get a room at house number 6 on the night of Diwali. But on one condition.
Lock the doors before 1:30 a.m. Whatever you see, don't step out.
The owner said. Raghav sat by the window facing the empty land. The moon and the stars had left, but the sky refused to dim. Holding its royal purple, he drew the curtains only slightly to peek through. His camera was placed on a tripod, recording every second of the empty land. Hours passed. 8 turned into 9 and 12 turned to 1. Nothing in sight. Raghav's head swayed left to right, begging for sleep. Little vibrations tickled his ears. A soft hum of rusty quality. A hum. Was it a radio? He wondered. He checked outside and saw nothing, but the music was getting louder. People chuckled. Faint murmurs became audible. He checked if the owner of house number 6 was awake, but the man was fast asleep, surrounded by glasses and bottles of juice that make people dizzy. Raghav rushed back to the room. A tangent of yellowish orange light melted its way into the room from the window. Raghav's heartbeat loosened. He looked out the window. In front of him stood a tall 3-story bungalow covered with clay lamps. The garden was lush and green, with little bushes of orange flowers shining, illuminating the wooden boundaries. A few faceless people stood in the garden chuckling, clinking their glasses filled with cola. Raghav's nose caught a whiff of deep-fried puri and sugar syrup. He made quick notes in his notebook about the sounds and smell. Raghav, hurry! The food won't stay warm forever. We are waiting. He froze. No one was aware of his little experiment at house number 6, except the owner. He checked on the clock. It was 1:30. He was told not to open the door, so he stayed and watched. The house grew brighter with every passing minute. Now even children giggled and chased each other in the garden. The aroma of ghee made his stomach growl. Raghav! Raghav? He overlooked the ledge. A beautiful woman dressed in Banarsi red silk sari was squinting up, looking at the window. Her hands gestured for him to come down. Her voice set his ears with sweet honey. She reminded him of his mother, his home in the village. His heart was exhilarating. He wanted to be there. His eyes pooled with tears. He rushed, opening the door wide. Standing limp in front of the gate, he wiped his tears. The whole lane lay dark, as if pretending not to see. He felt conflicted. After all, they had warned him not to go inside. The gate of house number 7 swung open. For a moment, everything stopped. The music, the chatter, even the sounds of the night. The women and all the faceless people waited behind it. Their smiles were radiant. The woman opened her arms, calling him in. Raghav's gut protested the idea of walking in, but his heart longed for this feeling. Another middle-aged man showed up at the gate. His arms cupped the woman's shoulder as he said, "Please come in." The lady handed Raghav a sweet and said, "Hello, I'm Mrs. Patkar. Every year few people visit us, but still we decorate the house. Please, join us." They all looked at him with eager eyes. Raghav took the sweet and stepped in. And suddenly the music resumed. The children giggled and everyone celebrated. A smile made its way to Raghav's face. He was happy. But the last thing he remembered was that the sweet tasted like ash. The next morning, the owner of house number 6 gasped. Seeing his front door wide open made him furious. He marched to the room rented to Raghav, only to find his tripod toppled over the side. Girish uncle, the local clerk, was informed. He heaved a sigh and said, "I told him to skip it." Every Diwali after 1:30 a.m., the lights return. Every year, as people forget a little more, it shines a little harder to be remembered. And Raghav, he now stands among the faceless people. You see, kids, some houses are not haunted by ghosts. They are haunted by the idea of being forgotten. So if you ever see any empty space between two homes, don't stare for too long. It might be trying to make you remember it.